What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Syndicate Talk. And we have two very special guests on with us today. We have Joseph Brown and also his father, Martin Brown. How y'all doing today?
Very good, man. Thanks for asking. Thanks for having us on the show.
Yeah, doing good. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you guys for willing to be on. I did a lot of research on you, Joseph, also you, Martin. So I really am appreciative of you guys taking the time out, to come on the show for sure. So I really just wanted to hop right into it, man.
No problem.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to, how did you get your start with combat sports?
Yeah, so I started off in boxing when I was 6 years old. My dad started me off in boxing.
Okay, okay, perfect. And then Martin, did you do any combat sports growing up as well?
Yeah, I started practicing martial arts when I was 7 years old in Jamaica, actually. And I just kept it going all the way till now. Obviously, at my age, I can't really kick like I used to, but my boxing's still on point. And so, even at 54, I can still put in 20, 25 rounds with Joseph when we train. So it's been a blessing.
Definitely, definitely. And Joseph, like, how many combat sports would you say you've trained so far?
Uh, I've trained in boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, MMA. So I
And Taekwondo,
Taekwondo. So like
six.
six.
Man, so like, man, you all over the place, just mastering all of them. So that's what's up. And that's very rare. That's very rare that you see, somebody jump from discipline to discipline to discipline and be able to excel at them like you have been able to. So that's dope to see. And then obviously, you are the 2022 national kickboxing champion, also the 2022 youth Muay Thai world champion. How was that? What was those experiences like, and what was the feeling of being able to, be number one at those things?
The experience was great. I remember for the nationals that I had, I think the nationals was I think like around March-ish
Okay.
in 2022. And my first match that I was supposed to have, I think I was competing Saturday and Sunday. My first match, one of my opponents actually backed out after they found out who I was. They just didn't want to fight me, so they backed out. And then my second one, I stopped the guy in the first round. So that was pretty good. That was for kickboxing, and then later on in the summer, the Muay Thai World Championships. That was actually my first time ever competing in Muay Thai. I only did just kickboxing before. Like I practiced Muay Thai, but I never competed in it. So that was my first time competing in it, which was a little different because you have things like the clinch, which I wasn't great
Hmm.
at that time, and the
Elbow.
knees and stuff. So yeah, I trained for a little bit. I didn't get many clinch sessions in, but I just did a little bit just to kind of get used to it. And we figured why not just go and try. And I ended up fighting three times for that weekend, and I won all three of my matches and became world champion. So yeah, it was a amazing experience.
Definitely, and I know that just shows the work that you do put in, to never compete. And like you said, it's different from kickboxing. It has some
Yeah,
similarities, but it's different. So for you never
yeah.
to compete in that, it shows the hard work that you do put in, the discipline that you have to excel at these things. So that's really dope to see, man. And you also were the Ontario Provincial champion without even having to fight. What was that like? And what is that like, kind of being feared? I don't want to say feared, but I guess the boogeyman of amateur boxing. These kids don't want to fight you. They don't want to step in the ring with you. What is that feeling like? Is it a feeling of like, it's showing that I work really hard. They know I work really hard. Like, what is that like?
By the way, just interjecting real quick, he fought in nationals also for boxing last year, down in Vegas, the national championships. Jeff Mayweather cornered him, who is his coach in the U.S., and he actually won that as well, right before the kickboxing. And then he went from nationals in boxing, he won the title, national title, what's it? National championships for title, right? And then came back to Canada, fought real quick, won the kickboxing championship, then got back into camp and won the world championships all within a few weeks.
This is crazy, man. This is crazy, man. Like, but like you said,
Sorry, go ahead.
oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, but like you said, we had, for the people who don't know, we've spoken on the phone previous to this interview. And you guys were just kind of giving me, the brief, gist of what you guys were about, and it just, it's all making sense. You told me you guys are, you're in the gym 6 days a week, twice a day. You know what I mean? You're doing what it takes to really, be great at this. What is it like living that pro lifestyle, Joseph? Like, what is it like doing that from an early age to now? And how do you feel like that's prepared you to be as good as you are now?
It's hard, especially when I first started like training 2 times a day when I was young. It wasn't easy and I didn't really like it at first. I didn't really understand it. Like I didn't understand what was the purpose of doing it. But my dad, he pushed me to do it. And, after I started getting older and then competing a lot more and winning all my competitions, I started to understand the importance of hard training and training 2 times a day. A lot of amateurs only train once a day, but I find that training twice a day is what most professional world champions do. And I figure if I want to get to that level one day, then I need to be doing that now. So it's definitely a lot. It takes a lot out of my day to be training that much, but that's definitely what's gotten me to where I'm at right now. So I'm starting to enjoy it now. So I like it a lot.
And
Right.
there's a third workout in camp. When there's a fight coming up, we add a third workout for those 2 months. But I'm not gonna give away all our secrets.
You got to keep some stuff right in the back of the,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
keep them wondering. So back
Right.
back to the boxing, man. Obviously, I'm sure you get asked this a lot. What was it like getting the second fastest KO next to Mike Tyson in amateur boxing? Like, what was that like? And in your mind, could you like kind of play us through it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean it was pretty crazy. That was actually it was the day after my 11th birthday, so I had just turned 11, and it was my first boxing match. So I didn't really know like what a lot of to expect it being because I had competed in like Taekwondo before and a little bit of kickboxing, but that was my first boxing match. So I just remember being in the ring, the bell went off. Uh, I threw like a double jab, and then my opponent stepped in. And I hit him with a check hook, which like it rocked him. He kind of like buckled a little bit, and then after that, I kind of just like went at him. I had like that kill instinct at that point, and just went at him throwing punches until the ref stopped it, and it ended up being 10 seconds. And I was like that's pretty crazy. I didn't understand. I didn't really understand like how amazing or what that was or how significant it was that I stopped my opponent in 10 seconds at that time because I was so young, but like looking back at it now, it was pretty crazy.
Right, because it's rare in amateur. Like I actually went to some fights. Our Detroit Golden Gloves. I went to our fights yesterday and watched some of the good amateur fights they had. And there were some stoppages, but they're not getting stoppages till like it might be the second round, or later in the third round. And it's rare to catch a guy in 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Especially with how
Yeah.
fast paced amateur boxing is. It's a lot of punching. It's a lot of moving. So that's definitely was really a crazy achievement to me. I was like, dang, that's really crazy. And to be next to Mike Tyson out of all people, I know that, when you found that out, that's probably, a little amazing as well.
Hey, I tell you what, man, a lot of people I've got into it with coaches who thought I was abusive or doing too much, but they didn't understand that I actually started him when he was 3 years old, but I made things fun for
Right.
him at that point. But for that particular fight, Joseph had already won multiple state championships in kickboxing and taekwondo. This
Mm-hmm.
was his first boxing match. So for the last month of the camp, because we always do an 8 week training camp for every fight. Um, Unless they're back to back, but we're already like if we have a kickboxing and let's say a boxing match coming up 2 weeks apart, there's still that 8 week training camp for the both of them. So we have to
Right.
adjust. But that particular fight, right? I wanted to make a statement in that fight, and I wanted his confidence level to be high. So for the last month of that camp, he sparred 200 rounds a week for the last 4 weeks. So he put in 800 rounds of sparring. And people say, how did you? Because he had already gotten used to it. So in the first workout, I would spar 20 rounds with him. Light contact, of course. A lot of slip counters, a lot of light contact just for timing and reflex. Then I would take him to the boxing gym at night and I'd get 3 or 4 guys to spar 4, 5, 6 rounds apiece and put in another 20 that night. But, limited contact because he was young. So we literally put 40 rounds a day, 6 days a week for the last month.
And
800 rounds the last month. And he was 10.
right. So it's really like when you put it into perspective like that, it's not surprising anymore. It's like you put the work in to be able to, because you come on, at 10 years old, that kid's not doing that. That kid, your opponent's not
No,
doing that. You know what I mean? So
no.
it puts into perspective why you were able to just go out there and dominate him so quickly. So, how many fights collectively would you say you have? You can go across all sports. I was preferably asking boxing when I made the question, but if you know the number in all your kickboxing, Muay Thai, you can say that as well.
Well, he's 65-0 right now in all the combat sports. If memory serves me correctly, I believe he's 30 Taekwondo matches, 25 or 24 between kickboxing and Muay Thai, and then 11 in boxing. If you add that up, I think it amounts to 65.
Man, yeah, you working, bro. You working. And then, what weight are you fighting at? Preferably boxing. And then, is it the same across each sport? Taekwondo, not well, Taekwondo, kickboxing, Muay Thai. Is it the same across?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm at fight at 156 right now,
Okay, okay.
156 pounds.
And he weighed in at 155 for the world championships in Muay Thai. So it was like a pound off. It was no big deal.
Right, right. And then, what is it like? Because obviously, you have the pictures with Floyd Senior, Jeff Mayweather. What is it, Mayweather gym, just that camp, and getting that experience with those guys?
It's an amazing experience, something that you definitely can't get anywhere else. Like the types of sparring sessions that they have in there, it's like almost like undescribable. You just have to like be there and like watch it yourself to like really understand what I would be trying to explain. But like it's amazing the experience level that people like Floyd's dad and Jeff Mayweather that they carry. It's just you can't get it anywhere else. So I mean, yeah, they both helped me a lot, and yeah, it's been amazing.
Especially Jeff, who's his coach now. Jeff and I, we've been friends for a good little minute. I had a dream that Jeff Mayweather would actually be my son's coach when he was 10. I had this dream that Jeff was going to coach him one day. And when Joseph turned 13, Jeff officially agreed to start training him. I've been sending him down for camps. And then Jeff, last year for the first time, actually cornered him for the national championships, which he won. I could send you a video of that fight if you like. But
No,
yeah,
Jeff.
it's been great. Jeff's an amazing dude, man, an amazing guy. And Jeff Mayweather is Joseph's official, has been Joseph's official coach. We are also working with a couple other great guys, man. Coach Chill, he's in Dubai right now. He and Jeff Mayweather have been great friends for a long time. He's trained many, many world champions, and he's invited Joseph to Dubai. And also, I'm not sure if you checked out Little Future, but his father, Mark Robertson, out of Philly, we've been corresponding for a while, and we're going to try to set something up and get something going with him as well.
Man, I know that has to just be a crazy feeling to be, just be embraced by those guys. Obviously they're legendary. Obviously they have, their father and brother Floyd. They obviously, you know what I mean. It just has to be feel amazing to be embraced by that family, and just to go back to like the sparring sessions. Obviously, everybody wants to know about the doghouse. You know what I mean. Do those kind of sessions like motivate you, and have you got some rounds in the doghouse?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had like anything like crazy beef with anyone like that, and then I had like doghouse rounds like that. But I have sparred in the gym a few times, and I've seen people go at it there, and I mean, yeah, it gets pretty intense and pretty crazy. And I mean, you see why like seeing sparring sessions there, you can kind of see why Floyd is like the way that he is now. Like that, like sparring in there, like definitely made him who he is now, made him the champion that he is.
Right, right. And then, when we spoke earlier this week, I know you were telling me, Martin, that, Joseph, you've been sparring with grown men since you were, like you said, 10, 11, 12 years old. How do you feel?
9.
Not, nine, 10, 11.
Yeah.
How do I know it's prepared you for now, but in your words, how has that gotten you to the point where you are now, where you're just able to pretty much just be above the rest of these kids? You know what I mean? How does that prepare you for where you are now?
Yeah, well, I mean, like most kids at that age, especially, they're only training and working with people that age. Like a 9-year old is going to be training with another 9-year old or 10-year old. They're not going to be going with adults. Even my age now, people that are 60 now, most of them are still training with like other teenagers and stuff. But since I've been training with adults since I've been a little kid, it's definitely built up my confidence because even when I was little, I was beating most of the people I was sparring, even though I was still like small and young. And even now, it's just, I especially when I turn pro and stuff, I plan to turn pro at a young age. So I'm gonna be have to fighting adults at a young age. And that's kind of what I've been doing my whole life. So that's definitely been giving me the confidence, sparring adults and training adults since I've been young.
Definitely. I know that has to just be a confidence booster, you know what I mean? Because 9 times out of 10, whoever you're sparring in the amateurs probably doesn't compare to who you're sparring in the gym. You know what I mean? Whoever you're fighting in the amateurs probably doesn't compare to who you're sparring in the gym and getting that work in with. And just speaking on that, who are some guys? Because I know, Martin, when we spoke, you said there's been some pretty good guys in there you get some work in with. Can you name some guys that just you get some work in with and it's just been some of those iron sharpen iron moments?
Down in Vegas.
Yeah, wherever you feel like who's got to give you the best work.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had a lots of good sparring down in Vegas.
Tabiti.
Um, there's one fighter, Andrew Tabiti. He's a
Mm,
cruiserweight. He think he fought for a world title. He signed a Mayweather promotion, so I got to spar with him. He's real good. There's another fighter down there, Kevin Johnson. He's super good. He works with the best down there, like Devin Haney, Gervonta
Tank, all of them,
Davis,
yeah.
all of them. So yeah, he's a super good fighter. I mean, there's one here, Chan Thonson.
Yeah.
He's a lightweight right now.
WBA champ.
Yeah, he won a WBA belt and a NABA title, and I think he's ranked like 14th in the world right now under WBA.
mm.
So I spar him on a regular.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chan's been helping me a lot. Chan's helped me like a ton, a ton.
And vice versa. Chan told his trainer and his promoter, he's like, listen, I don't care what you guys say. I don't care what you think about his age or anything else. I want Joseph in every single camp I have. In the last 3 training camps, including the world title that he won, Joseph came in for 8 weeks and sparred Chan 3, 4 times that a week. At the end, I think he was putting in what, 12 rounds, 10, 12 rounds with Chan, like 3 times a week. And came back with the belt, and he told Joseph, he said, Joseph, it's easier to get out there and fight these guys after sparring you for 12 rounds every day.
Man, and that just says something about
Yeah.
your hard work and discipline, man. Like this is world championship guys that are bringing you in for fight camps at 16 years old, 15, 16 years old. You know what I mean? So that's just showing, the work you put in, man. And like I said, like I just sent you the Instagram message. I was excited to get on with you guys. I feel honored to be on with you because I know you're gonna do great things, man. So what do you this is probably hard for you to answer because you do so much stuff. Do you have a favorite combat sport?
Yeah, my favorite right now is boxing.
Is it boxing? Why would you say boxing?
Yeah. Uh, I think boxing, it's like simple but also very complex. Like, MMA, you have like all the different types of striking techniques, like with the jujitsu, the takedowns, the kicks and stuff. You might think boxing, okay, boxing is more simple because you only have your hands, but only having your hands, it limits you to all the rest of the things you can do. So now you really have to think of like what am I gonna do to my opponent only using my hands. And I like to consider myself as a thinker. I like to think a lot. And so having that like in my head, like, okay, what am I gonna do just only using my hands since I'm also used to using all the other things? It just it's real fun for me. So that's why I like it the most.
Right, right. And then, like, obviously, you've been excelling at the combat sports for so long, man. But was there a moment, and Martin, you can answer this question as well. Was there a moment where you guys just knew, like, this is it? Like, I got it?
Okay, first I want to give a big shout out to Dewey Cooper, down in Vegas. Dewey Cooper is officially Joseph's kickboxing MMA coach down in Vegas. And ironically, I reached out to Dewey many, many years ago, a little before I reached out to Jeff. And Dewey been in Joseph's life since Joseph's probably maybe 12 or 13. And ironically, Jeff Mayweather was Dewey Cooper's boxing coach for years. So the marriage was
Right.
perfect between Dewey and Jeff down. I mean, like one doesn't really conflict with the other one. And Dewey understanding boxing, training with Jeff, it's an easy transition when he works with Joseph with the kickboxing because Dewey did it as well, being a multiple time world champion, training now Francis Ngannou. In my opinion, he's the best MMA coach in the world, like right now, hands down. And I put Jeff right up in the top spot of boxing coaches. Jeff is definitely in the top echelon of boxing coaches. There are a few other great coaches, Coach Chill and unknown Mark Robertson. That man is a genius a science in that boxing gym. But to have these guys teaming up to work with Joseph, man, is a blessing. But big shout out to Dewey. Now to answer your question, uh, I would say probably when Joseph won his first state championship, he was 8 or 9. Yeah, he was 8. And he had only been training in Taekwondo for, I think, 3 or 4 months, and he got advanced to blue belt in like 15 weeks. That should have took a year and a half. And he won and fought in the state championships, and he won. And then 5 months, 6 months later, he got his black belt, which only took 11 months. It normally takes 4 years. But he got triple tested every time, got his black belt in only 11 months. That's unheard of. From white belt to black belt in 11 months. He should have only went up one or like 2 belts. Then he went and won a local championship. Then he won the state championship or provincial. And then 2 months later, he won the national championship, became the national champion. Uh, just a year and a half after starting, a few months after getting his black belt, he was already a national champion. At that point, I knew he had something
Right.
special.
And was it kind of like around that same time for you, Joseph, where you kind of clicked like I got something here?
Yeah, I think it was around that same time too.
Right, right. And then Martin, are you a trainer as well? Do you train a little bit?
I've been training Joseph all his life. So what you see Joseph doing is probably, I say, about 90% of me.
Okay, okay.
And I do got to give all, I mean, Jeff gives him great things. Jeff put the icing on the cake, Dewey Cooper, these guys, but he only sees them every once in
Right,
a while. So he's with me in my basement. I got a gym in the basement, and I've been working with him all his life, man. And that's how I used to fight. I had that same talent, but I didn't have a father in my life. A single mother that left when I was very young. So I just didn't have the guidance. My talent was kind of wasted. Well, I guess not wasted now, but then.
right, right. And then I was going to ask, going off of that, how do you guys feel the father duo relationship and fighter, I guess, off out of the ring relationship and also in the ring relationship is? Because obviously sometimes it can be very successful. Obviously, you guys are very successful. You see guys like Devin Haney and Bill Haney; they're very successful, but sometimes it can go left. You know what I mean? So, how do you guys feel about your guys' father son relationship and how you guys are going to progress going forward?
I'll let him answer this after. But personally, I communicate a lot with Joseph. We talk every day. I'm always talking, man. Always talking to him, and explaining everything. Because Joseph's the type of person, I think all children, like, parents tell their children, go do this or don't do that, and don't tell them why. And so when their parents say, look, and they go do it anyway because they don't understand why they shouldn't do what they do. Well, don't touch the stove. Well, why? Because it's going to burn you and you're going to be hurt for a long time. You know what I mean? Because it hurts. So you turn the stove on, you turn it off, you touch it, you make sure it's not too hot or it's going to burn them. You tell them, go ahead and touch that part right there. And I said, that's why. Now imagine it being 10 times hotter. What would have happened to you? Then they understand, okay, my dad's just trying to look out for me. Now I understand why I shouldn't do this. So I always explain to Joseph the whys. And I think when he was younger, I understood that he wouldn't understand everything I'm saying or
Right,
why I make him do 1,000 sit-ups a day and all this other stuff. He wouldn't understand till he starts getting those gold medals. But I understood that as he got older and more mature, he would understand as I continue to explain all the why. So now I think we have a good dynamic, a clear understanding of what he has to do and why he's doing what he's doing, the goal that needs to accomplish. If you want to be the best of the best, this is what you're going to have to do. And I'll lay it all out so he can clearly understand it. And I've asked him many times, are you sure you're willing to sacrifice? Because I'm not training a second place guy. I'm not training you for silver medals. Because, like, at the end of the day, when Floyd got in there with whoever you want to talk about, if he would have got that loss, he wouldn't be like he is now. The respect would be different. Boxing's not like basketball where you could take 5 losses and still win a whole championship. You take 5 losses
it's
in
over.
boxing, unless you Manny Pacquiao, it's over for you,
It's
man.
over.
So I think basically it's just a clear understanding that he and I have between each other of the journey, what it takes, and the goal that we're trying to achieve here.
Now, how about you, Joseph?
Yeah, yeah, it's like my dad said at the end. Like me and him have a good relationship outside. But when we're training, it's just like it's business. We got to get down and train. Like no playing around when it comes to that. There's gonna be some up and downs, and stuff like that, but it's just a part of the process. So you just gotta trust it.
Right, right. And it's obviously been working.
That's
And I
it.
know you guys, obviously you see it working, and that's kind of what got you to the point where you are now. Like you said, Pops, once he starts seeing those gold medals, it'll start clicking for him. You know what I mean? Now you're starting to see that. Now you're winning all these championships, beating all these guys, or at top of the top. So definitely, I definitely understand where you're coming from. And then when do you guys think you will be ready to? I know you said you might be thinking about going pro a little young, and you're 16. A lot of guys start. This is kind of where they start in boxing, at least 16, 17, 18. When do you guys think you're gonna be ready to go pro?
Um, Honestly, it could be like late, like end of this year or like sometime next year, because originally my plan was to go to the Olympics. That's what I've always wanted to do, but they changed the age limit to I think 19, I believe. So I'd be too young to go to the 2024
Hmm.
Olympics. So if I feel ready by like the end of this year, then I think that's when I turn pro after I turn 17.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I can't wait to actually see you in the ring, man, with the 10-ounce gloves on, man. I'm really excited to see that. I can't wait till that day comes.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to get a little bit more personal with you, man. So who do you think who is your pound for pound boxing king right now?
Right now, I think right now I go with Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford, why Bud?
Terrence Crawford. Um, I just think like his resume is really good. As far as like at welterweight, like I think they have like the talk where Spence, him and Spence. I think Spence has fought some better welterweights right now, but Terrence, a lot of people forget that Terrence was also undisputed at
Hmm.
142, and he was champion at 35. He's came a long way. He's like I think like I don't know 38 no now or something. So he has a really good record. He can switch stances. I think his overall skill is just amazing. He's one of the most like skilled fighters, one of the top skilled fighters in boxing right now. So that's why he's one of my favorites.
Definitely. No, I agree with you 100%. And then who are some fighters that you study and get some game from?
I study Floyd Mayweather a lot. Andre Ward's one of my
Yeah.
favorites. Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, Roy Jones. I study all those people.
All the legends too, rep. And then
Yeah.
what are some things, and I know you don't got too much time on your hands, but you doing a lot right now, man. But what are some things you like to do when you're not training or when you do have some downtime?
I like doing like parkour, like flips and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I try to hold myself because I don't want to go do all that and then like hurt myself,
Right.
so I won't be able to box. But I make sure I'm not getting too crazy. But I like doing those stuff.
Right. No, I feel you. I used to love doing like the backflips and flipping those stuff too. So I feel you on that. And then like
Yeah.
uh what motivates you to keep going as hard as you do? Obviously, you staying disciplined at your craft, but what is it for you that keeps you going and just keeps you just staying on the ball?
Just like the thought of becoming a world champion one day. Like especially now I've been able to like train and spar with a lot of top level athletes and high level coaches.
Hmm.
And then all been telling me that, one day if I keep sticking to it and keep on the path I'm on, that I can become a world champion one day, like as a professional. And especially becoming a world champion in Muay Thai as an amateur, it definitely gave me a lot of confidence saying, okay, I did it as an amateur. Well, that's the first step. Now I have to, keep training hard, and eventually become a world champion as a pro too. So the thought of me winning like a big belt one day is definitely what keeps me motivated.
Definitely, man. You are on the way. I'm telling you, man. Like I said, your father sent me a whole bunch. You just sent me the video of the 29-year-old kickboxer, I believe he fought or sparred with.
Yeah,
And man,
yeah,
I
yeah.
felt those body shots. I told your pops, like when you hit, I'm like, I feel that in my stomach, man. I'm like, oh my God. So you definitely on the way, man. Could you tell us, or you might have touched on this a little bit earlier in the interview, but could you speak on it a little again? When is your next fight, and in which sport?
Um, my next fight actually might be a boxing match. On February 4th, so it might be soon, like within a
In
week
Vegas.
in Las Vegas. So yeah, that could potentially be my next fight.
Okay, and
Potentially.
is that going to be streamed anywhere? I would love to support you, man. Obviously, I am a fan of you now, so if it's streamed anywhere, I'll buy it. I don't care. So
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I heard it's gonna be, I don't know if they said it's gonna be live streamed, but they said it will be streamed. So even if it's not live, right after, you should be able to, watch it over again.
right, okay, sounds good. And then last official question, man. Where does Joseph Brown see himself in 5 years?
5 years, I'll be 21 years old. Definitely world champion at that point. One of my goals was to become world champion before I turned 20. So at like late 19, I want to become world champion, and hopefully by the time I'm 21, I could like become undisputed in whatever weight class I'm in.
Then MMA.
And then maybe MMA after, maybe crossover to MMA after.
Man,
He wants to be the first one, like Dewey Cooper. I always figured this myself, but when he actually went down and trained with Dewey Cooper for the first time, like he put me on the phone with Dewey, like before they started. Hey, I'm gonna take good care of your son. Whatever. We introduce ourselves like officially, speaking to one another. And when he was done with the session, man, Dewey called me back excited. We talked for about a half hour, man. And Dewey was like, Martin, this is the first time I've ever said anything like this. He said, I'm telling you that your son is such a prodigy that this kid, I believe, can be champion in boxing, kickboxing, and MMA all at the same time. He can simultaneously hold all the belts. He's just that good. So what we like to do, if Floyd would have started out when he was young doing MMA, I think Floyd would have crossed over, and I think Floyd would have won the belt on that side too. Unfortunately, by the time he fought Connor, he just didn't. He was too old to get started. But I think Joseph's at the right age. What he's been, his background, I believe. And save this podcast. Remember what I tell you. Joseph will be the first one to win multiple titles in boxing, crossover, and also simultaneously win a UFC or an MMA title and be world champion in both.
man, and I'm hoping you do it, bro. Because, like I said, I'm now a huge fan of you, bro. Especially after trying to prepare for this interview, I obviously just had to do some research on you, and I just became an even bigger fan of you, bro. So I really cannot wait to see what you do in the future. I do have some quick questions for you guys. I would love both of you guys play this with me. So I've just got like how many is this? It's 5 fights, and I just want you to yell out who you think will win the boxing matches, whoever you think will win these fights. So first off,
Okay.
yeah. So first off, I got. Hopefully, we get this in April. Javante Davis and Ryan Garcia.
Tank.
Tank, he's gonna knock him out.
Yeah. Tank by 10th round knockout.
Tank by 10.
My prediction.
All right. Next up, I got Devin Haney and Lomachenko.
Haney.
Haney, yeah, it's gonna be a UD fight.
Yeah.
Yep, I was thinking the same thing.
I got Haney.
Yeah, I think Loma's his age is starting to catch up to him a little bit.
Yeah.
Next up, I got Caleb Plant, David Benavidez.
I think Caleb Plant's gonna win.
I don't know. Plant's chin, man. Benavidez might put it. I'm giving Benavidez that one, bro, by knockout.
Man, that one's hard for me as well because I'm such a big Caleb
Yeah.
Plant fan, man. Like,
Same
like
here.
you said, Joseph, like he's just such a great boxer just in general. But like
Yeah.
going back on your point, Martin, like David Benavidez is just so relentless. His volume of punches he throws, his power it's ridiculous. So I'm kind of tore between the two in this one.
50-50.
Yeah, I'm kind of tore between the two in these one.
Yeah.
And then obviously Better Beef just got his big win yesterday versus Anthony Yard. Next up, I'm hoping the boxing world is hoping we get Better Beef and Bivol. Who would you guys have in that?
Bivol.
I'd have Bivol.
Yeah.
I think technically he's a lot better. Maybe he has, but I haven't seen him take a really good shot for somebody, so I don't know how good his chin is because I haven't seen him take like a really like flush, clean shot. Maybe he has. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. But if he doesn't get knocked out, he should win that.
Yeah. I think he's going to outbox him.
Yeah, I think Bivol is just more on the fundamental side. We kind of seen it with Canelo. Obviously, Canelo took the step up in weight or whatever, but you kind of seen Bivol's fundamentals
Yeah.
come into play and really show why, 175 is not 168. You know what I mean? Basically, what I was trying to get to. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? And then last one I got for you guys, I kind of already know where you're going with this one, Joseph. Spence and Crawford.
Yeah, that's a really close match too. I'm gonna have to go with Crawford on that one. I think Crawford's gonna edge it out, but that's gonna be like really good. Like that's almost like 50-50. Like it's gonna be a really good fight.
Two great fighters, two of my favorite fighters right now. But I'm Jamaican, man. I gotta roll with Errol. I gotta roll with my man. But I like Bud. I give it 50-50. That's a 50-50 fight, man. I don't know. I seen I seen Crawford get clocked. I forgot who he was fighting a couple times, and he was definitely rocked. I ain't never really seen Errol rocked. I seen him off balance one time when he got caught in I think with Sean Porter. But I don't know, man. I think if Errol lands some serious shots, like it's gonna depend on how Terrence's chin will hold up under those, because Errol's a powerful fighter.
Definitely, definitely. And then I got one more for honorable mention, man. I just literally thought of this one. Stephen Fulton Jr. and Niall Inoue. You know, Niall Inoue just moved up to 122. He's a pound for pound guy. How you guys like that fight?
Uh, that's gonna be super good.
Yeah.
I love Inoue. He's really good, but Stephen Fulton, he can also box really well. Like he trains a lot with Jaron
Mm-hmm.
Ennis. So I know his boxing skill is gonna be like on point. So that's gonna be like another like 50-50 fight too. Like I really don't know. If I had to go just based on skill, I might go with I think Fulton might probably be able to outbox him. I think he's probably a little bit of the better boxer. But then I also haven't seen him take a really good flush shot because I know Inoue can crack like
Yeah,
hard. He's a really good power puncher. So yeah, it's like another like 50-50 match.
I'm gonna roll with
you
that.
wrote.
I'm gonna roll with that. Yeah.
Definitely. And then that was pretty much all I had, y'all. Like I said earlier, thank you so much, y'all, for coming on and doing this with me. Such a big fan of you guys now. You know, I feel like we built a really good relationship here. I can't wait till we be able to do this again one day, man. I really do. Let the people know where they can find y'all, like socials or anything like that.
Yeah, my Instagram, real Joseph Brown.
Yeah, and let me just say this, man. We always keep God first in our lives, in our household. Without him, none of this would be possible. He give us the breath, every breath we take, every beat of our heart. We don't even have to think about breathing. We don't tell our heart to beat. The next beat comes from the Lord. So we keep him first in our life. We try our best to be good people and love other people. And, but we definitely keep God first in our household, man. To him be the glory.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, thank y'all for coming on, man. Joseph Brown, five-time national champion, WBC Muay Thai world champion, 2022 kickboxing world champion, 2022 provincial world champion, national champion. You're just winning everything, bro. So I can't wait to see what you do in the future. Uh, Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for coming on again.
Hey, bro, real quick. I just want to give a shout out to my wife, man, who holds
Yeah,
it down in here while, I'm out all day long, 8, 9, 10 hours a day with Joe. She holds it down. His little brother and sister. I'm not even sure if I told you, man, but all my kids were actually born on my birthday. Joseph was born on my birthday. My daughter, Mikhail, and Isaiah. All my kids. I had three dreams. Before my wife got pregnant, I had this dream. I had this little baby on my birthday. Then she was 4 months pregnant. I had another dream. Then 7 months pregnant. I had another dream, and all my kids actually came on my birthday, October 13th. So shout out to my wife, man. Shout out to cooks all the healthy meals for my son. Big shout out to our sponsors, Rajiv out in California and Satinder down in British Columbia. These guys have been behind us, promoting Joseph, sponsoring him, blessing him with equipment, and make sure he eat healthy, make sure that he gets to his physio and chiropractor appointments. Big shout out to those guys, man. I did not want to leave without giving my wife, my kids, and our sponsors and future. What is it they call them? The company is they do PR, right? Promotion, PR. What's that? Promotions, right? They do the promotions for him, and bigging up his name out there and doing a lot of things in the background that people don't know about. Without them, I don't think we could have made all this happen that's happening right now.
definitely, definitely. You gotta shout out the people who working in the background, man. A lot of people don't see those guys that's working hard in the background, really making things work for you guys. So definitely shout
Yeah,
out to y'all.
thank
Make sure y'all follow these guys on all their socials. Make sure you follow us on the Boxing Syndicate on Instagram, and make sure you subscribe for more videos and interviews. Thank you guys.
thank you,
Yeah,
bro.
thank you.